In over 70 interviews with fire managers from around the U.S., an essential skill nearly always comes up: being skilled at communicating with your employees, the public, and your interagency partners. Len Dems of the National Park Service possesses these skills to a high degree. Len graduated from the College of Environmental Science and Forestry at Syracuse in 1980 with a degree in forest biology. He worked on a hotshot crew with noted fire historian Stephen Pine on the north rim of the Grand Canyon, and there got hooked with fire. Currently, Len is a regional fire manager for the National Park Service. In this podcast, Len describes his nuanced approach to communications. He starts the interview with a description of how he would talk with a person whose viewpoint was different than his.
Well, we would need, and I would try to maximize opportunities to get together, to find some commonality between us first. And then with that commonality, then look at what truly are the differences. And maybe they're not differences as well as they are perceived to be those differences. And I have frequently found that just sitting down and communicating and just talking one-on-one helps to better understand the position. And that's something that we need to always understand is we have different jobs and we have different missions, and we have to respect each other's duties and missions, but there has to be some commonality to come together in every regard for a problem. And I think by getting together more frequently and really fine-tuning and understanding where we are in common rather than where we're against is a way to start and find a direction to go to solve the problem. You know, the discussions are having some history, having some background, both agency as well as personal, on myself to be able to share with another individual. Have them understand why I got to where I am and why I have been chosen to represent the agency on this specific incident or issue or whatever. And then similarly, I think that would be the expectation, is to hear some of the background and find out where this person has been, where you have come from, and what your history is specific to the issue. Because I think framing it in different contexts, we can see that we really don't always have differences. It's just a different in perspective and how we're really looking at it. So over the coffee is to get through some of that and then be able to really lay out what ultimately we need to achieve, and then start working and chipping away at some of the differences to be able to say, okay, ultimately we can have consensus on the final outcome. I don't know that to package it up into a formal training. I think some of it would be the day-to-day activities and the opportunities to be willing to get out and just work with people. I think somebody needs to be outgoing, confident, understanding of their agency standards, guidelines, and policies, but on a personal level, being willing to just sit, visit, and talk to someone to understand what their issues are, what their background is, and be confident enough to be able to do that. We can't just stay in front of a computer and a telephone. We need to go have those face-to-face actions that are so important. And I think that's where having the uniform of choice, whether that be the interagency Nomex or the suit and the tie or the gray and the green, that's the important part, is being able to wear that proudly and being able to represent your agency, but being willing to get out there and just talk to people. You know, at some point you have to cut and run and know when it's just not worth the effort to move forward specific to that person. And I think that's the skills. The more people you talk to, the more people that you can communicate with, the easier it is to know the bounds of when it is to finish the coffee and leave the table. And I don't know that you can train for that. I think that is intuition and your own personal confidence. In light of that, it would be to take an opportunity to give it one last chance or shot with this person, and when you had to cut and run, you do that, and then you look for somebody else within the organization that perhaps has a different outlook that can help you start getting back in to that line of thinking and understanding of problem solving and being able to accomplish some success. Truly the intent of the person in the body language, the eye contact, the inflection in the voice, and the sincerity and the ability to read a person is just a learned trait that you just have to talk to a lot of people with. I think you would be able to understand whether you were getting through based on how the response that you received from the person, how they were paying attention to what you were saying, and frequently you could just throw some curveballs of comments out to be able to really see if that person was paying attention to you or if they were just giving you lip service, and be able to go with that flow.
Learning to manage difficult conversations and negotiating various viewpoints in the workplace is a skill that can be learned. An excellent starting point for an effort to improve your conversational skills can be found in the book Difficult Conversations, written by experts for the Harvard Negotiation Project. It might be worth your while to locate this book. See if it doesn't help you improve your conversational skills.